I show this clip in almost every single workshop that I give because for me it's one of the best demonstrations I've ever seen of how to make a really complex point not just understandable, but really powerful.
So I was an early reader, and what I read were British and American children's books. I was also an early writer. And when I began to write at about the age of 7, stories in pencil with crayon illustrations that my poor mother was obligated to read, I wrote exactly the kinds of stories I was reading. All my characters were white and blue-eyed. They played in the snow. They ate apples. And they talked a lot about the weather, how lovely it was that the sun had come out. Now, this despite the fact that I lived in Nigeria. I had never been outside Nigeria. We didn't have snow. We ate mangoes. And we never talked about the weather because there was no need to. My characters also drank a lot of ginger beer because the characters in the British books I read drank ginger beer. Never mind that I had no idea what ginger beer was. And for many years afterwards, I would have a desperate desire to taste ginger beer. But that is another story. What this demonstrates, I think, is how impressionable and vulnerable we are in the face of a story, particularly as children. Because all I had read were books in which characters were foreign, I had become convinced that books, by their very nature, had to have foreigners in them and had to be about things with which I could not personally identify.
That was from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Danger of a Single Story. And think about what she's saying in that 90-second clip about how stories shape identity and this narrative can colonize your entire worldview. It's a genuinely difficult, quite abstract and academic idea which he brought to life on a TED stage. Now, you don't need a diagram, you don't need a framework, you just need an image of a little girl writing stories about a world that had nothing to do with her reality. Because we've all been 7, we've all been that child, and we can imagine ourselves in her position. You see, that's the power of a specific personal human story. It takes the complex and makes it feel lived in.